European territory by force since the Second World War. Another 15% of Ukraine's territory, an area roughly the size of Portugal, illegally seized by Russia at gunpoint. The sham referendums were engineered in Moscow and imposed on Ukraine in total violation of international law. This land grab is illegal and illegitimate. NATO allies do not and will not recognize any of this territory as part of Russia. We call on all states to reject Russia's blatant attempts at territorial conquest. These lands are Ukraine. Donetsk is Ukraine. Luhansk is Ukraine. Kherson is Ukraine. Zaporizhzhia is Ukraine, just like Crimea is Ukraine. This is the second time Russia has taken Ukrainian territory by force. But it does not change the nature of the conflict. This remains Russia's brutal war of aggression against Ukraine. And it does not change our commitment to support Ukraine. NATO is not party to the conflict, but we provide support to Ukraine so it can uphold its right for self-defense enshrined in the UN Charter. Ours is a defensive alliance. We stand united and determined to defend and protect every NATO ally and every inch of allied territory. This is a pivotal moment. Putin has mobilized hundreds of thousands of more troops, engaged in irresponsible nuclear saber rattling, and now illegally annexed more Ukrainian territory. Together, this represents the most serious escalation since the start of the war. None of this shows strength. It shows weakness. It is an admission that the war is not going to plan, and that Putin has utterly failed in his strategic objectives. Putin bears full responsibility for this war, and it is his responsibility to end it, to end the imminent suffering of the brave Ukrainian people, to end the energy and food crisis that is affecting so many around the world. If Russia stops fighting, there will be peace. If Ukraine stops fighting, it will cease to exist as an independent sovereign nation in Europe. NATO reaffirms our unwavering support for Ukraine's independence, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. We remain resolute in providing support to Ukraine as it continues to defend itself against Russia's aggression, for as long as it takes. And with that, I'm ready to take your questions.
And we'll have time for just a couple of questions. We'll start with the News Agency of Ukraine.
Thank you for the floor. National News Agency of Ukraine, Dmytro Shkurko. We in Ukraine have no doubt will prevail and liberate our territories. But a few hours ago, Ukrainian leadership showed us the possible way out of this bloody war and officially applied to NATO membership. My question is, NATO ready to consider that kind of applications? And the second part of the question, is it possible to consider the speedy procedure for that kind of membership, like it was done for Sweden and Finland? Thank you so much.
Every democracy in Europe has the right to apply for NATO membership, and NATO allies respect that right. And we have stated again and again that NATO's door remains open, and we have demonstrated that over the last years. NATO allies, when they met at the NATO summit in Madrid, stated also very clearly that we support Ukraine's right to choose its own path, to decide what kind of security arrangements it wants to be part of. Then a decision on membership, of course, has to be taken by all 30 allies, and we take these decisions by consensus. Our focus now is on providing immediate support to Ukraine to help Ukraine defend itself against the Russian brutal invasion, and then that's the main focus and the main effort of NATO allies as we speak.
Associated Press.
Yes, Secretary General, the war seems to have taken on a new dimension today with both President Zelensky and President Putin taking. I wonder, now that President Putin's annexed these